Rio de Janeiro, a city of contrasts, where sun-kissed beaches meet labyrinthine favelas, where vibrant energy pulsates alongside a harsh reality. Today, we're diving deep into the heart of these favelas, the sprawling shantytowns that house millions. We'll explore their teeming streets, their vibrant culture, and the undeniable shadow that hangs over them. Gang rule. Gangs. They're the law of the streets, wielding power and control. But who are these young men? What drives them to this life? Join us as we peel back the layers, uncover the complex truth about life and crime inside Rio's favelas. We'll meet the residents, the authorities, and even those who walk the tightrope between the two. This is Life and Crime, inside Rio's favelas and the gangs that rule them. Buckle up because we're about to take a journey you won't forget. But the story of the favelas is more than just crime. We'll meet the people who call these communities home, families, artists, entrepreneurs, all trying to carve out a better life. We'll explore the complex reasons behind the rise of gangs and the challenges faced by authorities, history of the favelas and their social and economic challenges. Favelas, the iconic hillside communities of Rio de Janeiro and other Brazilian cities, have a complex history intertwined with social and economic inequalities. Here's a breakdown. Origins: early 20th century. Urban migration surged as people flocked to Rio for jobs during industrialization. Lack of affordable housing forced these newcomers to settle on unclaimed, often steep hillsides. These informal settlements, initially called cariocas after indigenous people, eventually became known as favelas. Social challenges: poverty. Most residents struggle financially, lacking access to basic necessities like sanitation, waste collection, and reliable electricity. Limited infrastructure. Narrow, winding streets make emergency services difficult. Schools are often overcrowded and underfunded. Stigma. Favelas are often stereotyped as dangerous and crime-ridden, hindering opportunities for residents. Violence. Gang control has become a major issue in many favelas, leading to shootings, drug trafficking, and fear among residents. Economic challenges. Informal economy. Many favela residents resort to informal work like street vending due to lack of formal job opportunities. Limited upward mobility. Low education levels and lack of access to training create a cycle of poverty for many. Land tenure issues. Informal settlements often lack clear land ownership, hindering infrastructure development and investment. Vulnerability to disasters. Flimsy housing on steep slopes makes favelas particularly vulnerable to landslides and flooding. A cycle of challenges. These social and economic challenges are interconnected. Poverty limits access to education, which hinders job opportunities, furthering poverty. Limited infrastructure makes it difficult to establish businesses, further straining the economy. Gang control preys on the lack of opportunity, fueling violence. The rise of powerful gangs like the PCC and Comando Vermelho, Rio's favelas, unfortunately, became fertile ground for the rise of powerful gangs. Two major players emerged. Primero Comando de Capital, PCC. This prison gang, formed in the 1990s, rose to prominence by leveraging violence to establish control within prisons. PCC's reach extended beyond prison walls, establishing a sophisticated network in favelas for drug trafficking and extortion. Their ruthless tactics and focus on organization have made them a dominant force. Comando Vermelho, CV. Founded in the 1970s, CV is another major gang with a strong presence in Rio's favelas. Initially formed by former inmates, they gained control through drug trafficking and violence. CV is known for its territorial focus and clashes with the PCC for control of lucrative drug routes and favelas. The rise of these gangs is a complex issue with several contributing factors. Limited government presence, lack of adequate policing and social services in favelas created a power vacuum that gangs readily filled. Poverty and lack of opportunity. Economic desperation makes gang membership, with its promise of quick money, attractive to some young people. Social breakdown. The harsh realities of favela life can lead to a breakdown of social structures, leaving individuals vulnerable to gang recruitment. Cycle of violence. Gang violence breeds more violence, creating a climate of fear and distrust that hinders community cooperation with authorities. These powerful gangs exert immense control over favelas, dictating daily life, restricting movement, and creating a constant threat of violence for residents. Understanding their rise is crucial to tackling the issue of gang violence in Rio's favelas. The impact of gang violence on residents. Gang violence in Rio's favelas casts a long shadow, impacting residents in a multitude of ways. Constant fear and insecurity, stray bullets, drive-by shootings, and gang clashes become a terrifying reality of everyday life. Residents fear leaving their homes or venturing into certain areas, restricting their freedom of movement and hindering their ability to live a normal life. Children can't play freely, and families live in constant anxiety. Limited opportunities. Gang control stifles economic activity. Businesses are forced to pay extortion fees, hindering investment and job creation. Education suffers as violence disrupts schooling and instills fear in students and teachers alike. The cycle of poverty deepens, with little hope for a brighter future. Loss of life and loved ones. The most devastating impact is the loss of life. Innocent bystanders are often caught in the crossfire of gang violence. Families mourn loved ones, and communities grapple with the trauma of violence. The cycle of revenge can perpetuate the bloodshed, creating a sense of hopelessness. Psychological trauma. Living under constant threat takes a toll on mental health. Residents experience anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Children exposed to violence can struggle with emotional development and social interaction. The psychological scars of gang violence run deep and hinder a community's ability to heal and thrive. Community initiatives and efforts to combat gang control. In the face of gang control, Rio's favelas aren't surrendering. Community initiatives fight back on multiple fronts. Youth empowerment programs offer education, sports, and mentorship as alternatives to gang life. Skills training and job opportunities break the cycle of poverty, while public space reclamation projects use art and community events to take back territory from gangs. Peace-building initiatives promote dialogue and conflict resolution, fostering trust between residents and authorities. Strengthening the social fabric involves community centers, offering counseling and support groups to help residents heal from trauma and rebuild solidarity. Finally, advocates push for police reform, emphasizing community policing and building trust to tackle the root causes of crime. These efforts face challenges, but they showcase the unwavering spirit of favela residents determined to forge a better future for their communities. Government policies and their effectiveness. Government policies aimed at curbing gang violence in Rio's favelas have yielded mixed results. One approach involved forceful police intervention, known as pacification units, UPPs. These heavily armed units initially drove gangs out of certain favelas, offering a sense of temporary security. However, critics argue that UPPs failed to address the underlying social issues that fuel gang recruitment. Furthermore, accusations of police brutality and corruption eroded trust between residents and authorities. Another approach focuses on social development programs. These initiatives invest in education, healthcare, and job creation in favelas. The idea is to offer residents alternatives to gang membership and create a more positive future. While these programs show long-term promise, their effectiveness is limited by tight budgets and the complex challenges of tackling entrenched poverty and inequality. The overall effectiveness of government policies remains a subject of debate. While some argue for a more forceful approach, others believe long-term solutions lie in social investment and community empowerment. Finding the right balance between security and social justice remains a key challenge for policymakers. So, what have we learned? The story of Rio's favelas is complex and multifaceted. While gangs undeniably exert a dark influence, the spirit and resilience of the residents are truly inspiring. There's a long road ahead, but community initiatives, stronger government intervention, and a focus on social development offer glimmers of hope. we leave you with a question to ponder. What can be done to empower communities and break the cycle of crime in the favelas? Thanks for joining us on this journey. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe for more in-depth explorations of global issues. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below.